Hi, welcome to the demo videos for Pathwave Test Executive for Manufacturing Software, or PTEM. In this video, let's look at how we can use test plan reference to simplify your test plan development. In PTEM, subroutines are referred to as test plan reference. It allows you to create a set of sequences and reuse them in multiple test plans. For this demo, let's create a test plan reference which will take in an input string, strip out all the white spaces and symbols before returning it back to the main test plan. So what I have here is two instances of PTEM running. On the left side is my main test plan called demo test plan reference. On the right side, this is going to be my reference test plan, the one that I will be calling in the main test plan, and I have named it as string cleanup. So both test plans are brand new without any test steps. Because a reference test plan will be imported into the main test plan, therefore it cannot have the default main and cleanup test group. So let's get rid of this inside our reference test plan. Next, we will create a variable in the reference test plan so that we can hold the input value for processing. Now we can add the first step to assign the initial value to the variable that we just created. For this, we can use the assign variable test step. Select the variable that we just created, input value. As for the source value, we will parameterize the value to the test plan level so that it can receive the input from the main test plan. Right-click on the value, select Parameterize on Test Plan. If you look at the test plan settings, the value is now part of the test plan parameter. Over here, we can rename the parameter so that it makes better sense. So now that the input value is assigned to a variable, we can start to strip out the unwanted stuff inside the string. So let's start by removing white spaces. We will use the string trim test step for this. Assign the input to the variable that we have just created. Leave the character to trim empty to indicate white space. And for the output string, put it back to the same variable itself. Don't worry about the exclamation warning over here. It is there just to indicate that the current input value is empty. But once we run the test, this will be populated and the exclamation mark will go away. So now that we have trimmed out the variable of white spaces, the next one, let's remove colons and decimal points. I will use string replace for this. I'm adding two string replace test steps. The first one will be removing the colons, and the second one removing decimal points. So for the first one, again, the input to the test step, we will assign it to the variable that we created, which is input value. Substring to replace will be the colon sign symbols. Replace with nothing. And the output string, put it back to the same variable. And for the last step, to assign the variable into the step, string to replace will be a decimal point. And now for the output string. So this output right now, what we want to do is to transfer this back to the main test plan. So instead of assigning it back to the input value, we are going to parameterize this out onto the test plan level. Right click, select on parameterize on test plan, and it gets out to the test plan level. So now that we have completed adding the steps in our reference test plan, let's go ahead and save the reference test plan. Let's now move on to the main test plan. Let's start by adding in the test plan reference step. In the test step settings, select the reference test plan that we want to assign to. This is my reference test plan. And then click on Load Test Plan. So once you click on Load Test Plan, you will see that the parameters that we have parameterized just now on the reference test plan is being showed up over here. And at the same time, if you expand the test plan reference step, you will see all the test steps that we created just now. All these steps are non-editable in the main test plan. So if there's any changes required, you will have to go back to the reference test plan to make the changes and then reload the test plan again back to the main. Okay, so now let's start with assigning an input value to our reference test plan. I will assign this to a variable and make use of the current time, current system time. So we assign the current system time to the input value. And for the output value, let's assign this to another variable. We'll create a new variable from here. And finally, let's add in a print step to print out the output value after the test is completed. Okay, so we are ready. Let's run the test plan. So the test plan has just been executed. So what you see now is that we took the test plan reference, right? Took in the input, which is the current time. It passed it into the reference test plan where we stripped off all the white spaces, the colons, and also the decimal points, leaving only the characters. And these characters is being passed back to the output value and printed out onto our output panel. We have come to the end of this video, and I hope you find it informative and useful. Do check out the other videos to learn more about what PTEM can do for you. Thank you for watching.